Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Royal Stone. Last episode we defeated the first of the Imperial fire forces that were trying to block our way in the desert here. We're heading off to Karasa, where the Empire already took their stone, but Luminette was sent here by the general in Sor. And he basically says, hey, you need to find her, basically see if you can team up with her, convince her to join you, and then go after the Empire. The general stayed behind to, of course, guard the Royal Stone and Sword. So, let's look around here. Nothing that we really need. So, most of our shopping is done for the most part. We're going to get some spells here. We're going to have Purpur learn her elemental spells, the second tier elemental spells. You could have Tor learn them as well if you turn him into a wizard. But we're going to turn him into the Evoker class. But there's no use in turning him into an Evoker right now because he doesn't really have any monsters. I'm not going to give him monsters until I max them out. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be putting so much emphasis onto my Siren. Did swords lead to the Battle of Felty? Yep, because they both involve royal stones. But yeah, we will be focusing a lot of energy on our Siren, and then we'll also end up in the next town, we'll end up getting a Griffin, and then we'll put a lot of effort into that Griffin. My son must learn. Hey, what are you watching? Times are rough, son. Even the youth must learn the sword. But Dad, it's so awkward. That's just because you need practice. First, if you grip it like this... actually, I've never handled a sword myself. I'm only good with a hoe. Maybe you should get the hoe of ultimate destruction. I'll tell you about that in a little bit, miss. But Eva's gonna have a little flashback here and to her training, and she's going to pass it on to this little kid here. But the Hoe of Ultimate Destruction, I think it was Ultima 6. It's one of the Ultima games. I'm eventually going to get to them, 1 through 6. And the Savage Empires, Martian Dreams, the Underworld series. But there was a wizard, and he was basically given like a hoe to make magical. And he was also given a sword to make magical, but he messed them up. So the hoe became like the ultimate, the hoe of destruction. It can like destroy anything. And the sword basically just became a sword that was only good at cutting grass. So we mixed up the spell we were supposed to put on them. So it's like the ultimate weapon in that game was the hoe of ultimate destruction. Those games usually have like the glass sword. It can defeat anything in one hit. But it's a one-use item, similar to how it was in Final Fantasy Legend 2. They messed the code up. It was like that in the Final Fantasy Legend, but in the American release they messed up the code, so the glass sword actually became an item that you can use 50 times. Thanks. I have to get better. And we are, like I said, going to get all water characters better. We're finally getting to see the Empire's castle. So there's Vadim. You disappoint me, Vadim. With all due respect, that Martellian wench keeps interfering. There exist 4 royal stones in this world, and he only possessed 2 of them. So he has the one from the beast, and he has this one that was in Karasa. Furthermore, he personally let a stone slip from your grasp. I swear I'll recover the 2 stones in Sor. There's only one other stone in Sor. The woman carries the Martellian stone, and she has already left. She should have just let the Sor and Martellian Empire fight each other and sweep in, but so be it. You will retrieve the Lagoons of Swaying from Sor, Adam. Sir, so he's going back there again. And you, Blair. Sir, you recover the Ingwars of Ripening from Eva. Understood. Once I hold all the royal stones, this land will be again bathed in chaos. Control will then be mine. So this battle we're going to have is going to be a two-parter against a lot of fire enemies. The second half will actually be against Blair's forces. But he sends out like a small little scouting party here, I guess to hold us here until he arrives. But this is basically sending our water characters. We must not fail. Sir. Victory must be ours, no matter the cost. Our orders are to find the stone and bring it to Lord Blair. He will not regret having promoted me. So, we have mainly fire enemies here. There are 2 wind enemies, and I guess the game mixes them in there because we send a whole bunch of water enemies at the fire enemies, and wind, of course, is strong against fire. So, they'd be able to ambush you and deal some damage to your water characters. The enemies are basically going to split up. They're going to send some folks to the north and then some around the south. The bulk of them are going to head to the north. We're just basically going to cut them off with our water characters. We're going to send them like through the lake where they're not, they don't have any movement penalties, and then we can just split them up from there. Shoot the Siren up to the north, then have another character going to head to the south. We're going to keep some of the characters though in the back because, like I said, this was a 2-part battle, and as soon as we defeat the boss in this battle, we're going to be attacked on both sides. So our Siren is basically going to clean house, gain a lot of experience on the left side in the next battle, and we'll have other water characters, mainly Vaslery, held up in the back there to hold off those enemies. The map is small enough that basically if you put your healers in the middle, they'll be able to reach either end of the lake and heal your characters there. The one wind character I sent, I didn't want to send my fire character to deal with the 2 wind characters. I sent Hori to help with the water characters, because he's very close to maxing out his level. Although it'll be some time until he maxes level out, because like I said, my main goal is to get the Siren maxed out, and then the Griffin that I'm going to get in the next town maxed out. So then I can give them to Tor and start fielding him as the enchanter. The evoker, the summoner. Getting my D&D magic spells mixed up with the different schools. Although, in my defense, it's been years since I played Dungeons and Dragons. The last time I played, I came back from Iraq, so it was like 2008. I saw my friends. So, what, 17 years? Yeah, also. Time flies. I used to play with the high school friends and stuff like that. So, Siren up. Take out this guy. They're like the fighters, like I said, they have the block command, but you'll notice that they are much stronger than your basic fighters. They'll let you get some better stats. They'll have more hit points than the fighters, but I guess the counterpoint is they level much slower. So with the fighters maxed out at 351 experience, I think the monsters max out like 4 something, 460 maybe. So really not a reason to use monsters unless you're really going for like the evoker class, because the fighters can do just as well. You don't need the melee, but like I said, I want to show everything kind of off in the game, So I want to show off that evoker class. Having two wizards though would be helpful in one of the future battles. Because we're gonna get to this one battle where we're gonna be channeled through like a little choke point, and there'll be wizards raining spells down on us as we go through that choke point, and you basically need two wizards to defeat them. Because there's another isolated island that has healers on it, and with just one wizard, you basically wouldn't be able to deal enough damage. The healers would basically heal the wizard before you can finish them off. But there's ways to get around it. You don't necessarily need you to defeat the enemy wizards there, or the healers. Although there's basically 5 enemies that get away. Just some juicy experience points that we miss out on. Let's just block here, just to be safe. There we go, doesn't make any damage from the special. And now we can beat him the next round. We came up with Rapport and then finish him off on the water characters. Let's move up. Hit it with a good bolt spell. Flash is a little weaker. The tier 2 elemental spells do a lot of damage. They have a reduced range to compensate for it though. And actually a level 2 elemental spell may have actually defeated that guy. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't go with level 2, even though I could have reached him from the distance I was at. Because I didn't want to, like I said, I want to get as much experience as I can onto my Siren here. I could level her up if I basically had her defeat every enemy in the next battle. Like I said, I also want to build up a little bit of my other characters, and I don't want to really waste experience. So I have it somewhat charted out pretty well for my next 3 characters to gain their levels. And the way that they'll gain their levels, I will only end up basically wasting 1 experience point. And that one character will be Horai, a wind character, a wind fighter. He's basically, when all is said and done in this battle, he'll need 30... he'll need 54 experience, and he'll gain 22 the next in 2 battles, and then 32 in the battle after that. It's the best I can make for him. Siren will hit it exactly, and Vaslery will hit it exactly. A water fighter. And he'll actually get it basically 2 battles from now. Unfortunately, we couldn't run away far enough to get away from these guys, these fire characters. So we get a little bit of experience here for Eva, but that's okay, because once again we're going to want to max out Eva before the end of the game. We still want her because we'll have all the elemental monsters. There's a 4th monster, just like in Crystal Warriors. The Oath Elemental monster, the Golem, and there will be 2 of them. We'll have 2 chances to get them on round 14. I mean round 15. So we want to have Eva still be able to gain some experience when she tries to tame those golems. But she'll eventually, like I said, be another priority to level up. We also want to get Perlis leveled up as well. Our other healer. And the main reason why was because healers are going to be kind of offensive, I guess, in a sense. Because even though they do less damage than fighters and the rangers and stuff like that, they can use the boost spell. So it's basically like they're attacking 3 times. And enemies at the end. Some of them really, really high defense. And we basically would need that boost to help penetrate the defense. So at the end we want to get all our boost using characters to max. Took that guy in one hit. That's the level element 2 spell. You can see how powerful they are. Speaking of power, we basically got a big, get a good idea of how powerful our monsters are going to be. They're also one of the few classes that can kind of set up some of the endgame level bosses. We'll see them later on. But the good thing with the Evoker class is when you get into a fight, they summon the monster to basically take the hits for them. So it's not necessarily... the only time they would take hits is if the enemy initiated attacks on them. But for the most part, your monsters will be taking their hits. So it's not necessarily to get 4 up to max level. Although we will try to get some levels on him. And let's finish this guy off here. 2 more hits should do it. Yep. We're going to see a lot of him in the next battle. So our characters are kind of set in a good area. So I started launching my Vaslery back over to the right. He's going to basically take care of most of the enemies on the other side. As I said, we're going to be in a pincer attack in the next battle here. Blair's forces are going to just come right in and not give us time to relax. There we go. And Debinin fell. But glory to Lord Blair. And speaking of Lord Blair, I guess you may have heard that scream because there it is, Lord Blair right there. Spectacular job, Debinin. Not really, he got entirely wiped out. He didn't hurt us at all. I think all my characters are at max health. Ah, you must be Eva. No hard feelings, but it's my job to kill you. In guard. Alright, well, it's our Siren's job to basically kill all of you on this side. So, we'll do a little bit of scanning just so next episode ain't as long. There's a lot more enemies in this battle than the last battle. And they're stronger too. But overall, like I said, it's not a tough battle and a decent, water elemental character that you've been working up. And you just see our Siren will end up basically cutting through that whole left side. And that would even include Lord Blair. Now I have Eva and Purpur over there. They'll be just basically there to heal. Well, Eva will be there to heal the Siren on occasion. And Purpur, sometimes she might get a hit in with a low-level cold spell or frost spell. Right here we have 5 enemies. We'll scan them. And then basically send Vaslery over to get him max out level. Like I said, by the time we're done this battle, he'll only need 22 more experience to max out, which is really good because most of the enemies in the next battle will all be worth 22 experience. So I set up kind of nicely where I would not waste any experience. Experience is very precious in games where you don't have random encounters. It's a limited pool, so. Alrighty, and speaking of pool experience, we'll be starting to collect that pool in the next episode. Take care, have a good one, see you then. Bye.